Alright, let me see if this works. It might just work without me having to do everything. Oh, it's gonna zoom in. Yeah, we want to do full body. Full body. Auto track. Yeah. Alright, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Let me see if I can do this. Hold on, let's mute it first. Sorry about that. Yeah, so yeah, I was just trying to. I had to do a bunch of stuff. I'd go do a little shopping, a lot of food prep and cooking. Did a bunch of boiling all my vegetables and stuff. Burnt myself on the stove. Look at that number. Did a pretty good job. I was cleaning up after I was cleaning up everything, and then obviously the stove was still hot, and I was cleaning. Ooh. I'm trying to figure out these investments. I asked a friend, and he brought up this autopilot thing, and I was like, this is exactly the kind of sort of thing I've always wanted to do. Why didn't I know about this before? I'm so stupid about not finding out about this stuff. Like, I thought, I was like, this obviously seems like it should be a thing, and I didn't know what the name of it was or whatever, but here it is. I got it now. And it's like, obviously, and you can auto follow people's investments, and it's like, number one, like, obviously it's the most genius, obvious, stupid thing. I feel so stupid even saying it. Like, when he said it, I was like, I mean, that's perfect. I mean, I obviously want to do that. It's like straightforward, the money of the wicked stored up for the righteous. You know, follow Nancy Pelosi and all her fucking investments and buy and sell exactly when she buys and sells. And I'm like, oh my god, of course. I mean, that's exactly. That's what I wanted to always do. Just here, guaranteed money. Just like, here, let me invest a bunch of money in something I know will grow. But now it's like, I'm so afraid. Like, I put some money in this other guy, Jim Simmons, Simons. It's one M, so it might be Simons. He has a very good longer track record of consistent growth over time and whatnot. So I put my money in that guy first, and then I was like, I could put some more money in Nancy, but at the same time, I'm like, and I could just cut it off when but it's like, I'm just so like worried that when I finally, put my shit in, my slow ass finally puts into it, that'll be the moment when her and her husband get indicted, and you know what I mean, I'll be screwed. You know what I mean? I just wasted, the money at whatever I invested. I just have to pull it back out and just get it right back. It'd be like a waste of time, or be a waste of time or a waste of money. Which would be, but I don't know. Not good either way. Lulu, however, he's doing good. We're getting the medicine in him somehow, some way, one way or the other. He's doing better. He's feeling good. He looks like he's fine and happy and healthy. We have another follow-up appointment next Friday. We're gonna try to start hitting the streets though. Get back out there and hit the grind on Sunday though. He should be fine. I think his wound's pretty sealed. It should be about scab zone. But just keeping it clean and keeping him taking the antibiotics, and he should be good. He's so funny. We went to walk earlier to go get some ice, and I went to go check to see if the little store next to us has ice in their shop, and they do. I was like, great, I don't have to. And they have little bags, so I don't have to go to the other place that has the big bags. These fit in my freezer. Anyways, we're walking over there, and there's kind of like a grassy, stony little area, where the fence that separates like the apartment complex and like where the store, little shopping center dealie is, it like ends before it gets to the sidewalk, and there's this whole area before it gets to the sidewalk, which is like just all like grass and stone and like tree branches and leaves and stuff, and it's like kind of like a little nature walk, and I was like, walking through it. It's a shorter path, just cutting the distance. Not Lulu. Nope, we're gonna do this the right way, Daddy. We're walking on the sidewalk. He's just walking on the sidewalk like a good boy. And we go to the store, and nice little shared moment with the cashier gentleman, and he gets us the ice, and we leave, and on our way back I do the same thing. And I figure he's going to follow, because he's very good, for the most part, and follow me very tightly and closely. And same thing, I walk up tight next to the fence and just like turn up around the fence, and just and he just walks all the way down and around. He goes to go down the side. He's like, nope, Daddy, we gotta do this the right way. He's such a goober. He is such a fun little buggy head. He's my buddy. I love them so much. On the notes we left off, like around my crazy Fader Island stories about being a bouncer and stuff. That was always a crazy moment in my life. I mean, I have so many different stories about so many different jobs and stuff, but that was definitely one that stood out. Met a lot of people. Met somebody I thought was going to be, my wife and all that stuff, and just all kinds of crazy stuff. But man, just the stories of where I was supposed to be alone in the middle of the night. Those stories, you know what I mean? Where ends up somebody's there, you know what I mean? There was only one time I got a call where, and I never found it. I was like, I wish I thought of this sooner, and like started like looking underneath the deck more often for people dropping shit. But I didn't think about it till like towards the end of my job, and I was like, ah. But I don't know. What gentleman one time asked, he dropped like this really expensive like ring that his friend gave him back in college or something that meant a lot to him and stuff. And I was like, I'll look for it. I never found it. I wish it did. So I'd like to help people out and stuff. But hanging out there by myself, I mean, you have this whole like beach patio area and this deck area and all the little bars areas and stuff that you gotta like be, checking out, make sure nobody's in and around, because it's like open access that. Yeah, I mean, people just walk in and jump a little fence or walk through a little gate and they're in the property. You know what I mean? And as soon as you get on the parking lot, you're on the property. But so he has like this whole big area that's his nightclub and restaurant and five star dining and well, they try to be 5 star dining. It's more like 3, maybe 4 wannabe. I don't know. But they're good. They're not bad or nothing. I would take so much advantage, like staying there overnight. I would go to the kitchen and I'd go through all the walk-ins and everything, and I'd check out where the cameras weren't at and this and that, and I would make myself whatever to eat, like fancy seafood stuff in the walk-in that's like already cooked but and ready to eat cold and stuff, like the shrimp and the this and that and everything, and like I'd go get oysters fresh out of a thing and go cook them up a little bit and eat them, or I'd make a sandwich with something, or I'd oh my gosh. And then I'd go up to the fine dining because there was no cameras up in fine dining, and I'd hang out and sit at the bar, make myself whatever I wanted to drink, rum and coke, or Jack and Coke, usually Jack and Coke, whiskey, I got like a whiskey and something. They had a bunch of different types of whiskey too. I always I didn't I always looked at the levels of everything. I never wanted to take too much of any one thing to make it look like why I know there was more than this in here yesterday. I don't want to fuck the bartenders up. So and I would always leave every night. I'd I get a bottle of water and I'd fill it with vodka or gin. It was pretty bad. But and I'd go up onto the rooftop and I'd smoke weed on the rooftop and shit. One time I fell off. It was like kind of wet. It was so funny. It was like a fucking action movie. And I'm by myself, so if I fell, I was fucked. But I would always go to the top of the highest point of the building, where the club and the restaurant was. And from there, it was actually pretty cool because I could see everything from there. I could see both the other properties because not only did you have to watch the restaurant and all that stuff, he had a little bridge to little creek in between, like where the bay and all that stuff is, because it's right next to the bay. But on the other side of this little bridge thingy, there's another parking lot, and there's 2 like hotel things. One's like a fancy or higher up specific, like I think like one type of like concept or whatever, and the other one's like multiple different concepts in it or something. I don't know, but fancier hotel thingy or whatever that John figured gentleman owns as well. And I'm watching all that stuff too. I gotta check over those properties, make sure everything's locked up the way it's supposed to be. Nobody's supposed to be. Make sure nobody's in the lobby, all that type of stuff. And from there, from the peak of the top of the building, I could see the whole everything, who's coming and going from everywhere. And I'd sit up there and drink and smoke and watch a YouTube video, whatever. And I'd walk back down and go through the little walkway on the rooftop and all that stuff. This one night, it was kind of wet up there. And as soon as I started walking up, I shouldn't as soon as I started taking a couple steps, I should have just said no. But I'm like, man, this is kind of wet. Can I make it all the way up? And I got all the way up, and I was like, man, I don't know if I should hang out up here. I'm like that. Thinking you got up here, what difference does it make now? You know what I mean? You're up here now. But I was like, I should probably get down and be safe so I don't hurt myself. So I turn around, I walk back down, and it's just a couple of steps, joop, joop, and then it's like a metal kind of roof, but it was kind of wet. You know what I mean? It's just slip, slip, and I start trying to catch myself, and I'm going, and I fall, and I hit one roof, and I fall over to another roof, and I start to go off of that roof, and I just reach out and grab like cliffhanger, like in an action movie or something, and there's like this like electric cable. I just happened to grab a hold of that, caught me and saved me from falling the rest of the way down to the ground. And I pulled myself back up. I was like, holy cow. It was so crazy. And like no one there to see it, of course. Like total action movie fucking sequence. I have like no way to prove it, but I I remember it. I was like, oh my gosh. It's just one of those moments you wish somebody would have seen it, but at the same time you're like so glad nobody saw it. you know? But you're like at the same time you're like, man, I wish I had witnessed to be like, man, that was cool. Oh man, fixing the. I was just cleaning the little cut I had on my finger, straightening it out a little bit. Yeah, that was fun. But like, oh man, I knew there was a time when I was like another time I was drunk by myself that was kind of silly and stupid. I'm trying to remember it after I got drunk with the bartenders and stuff, but I don't really remember that one. But there was like one time I was by myself, and like you kind of get used to it. It takes a little getting used to. Anytime you're in a situation where you are by yourself and you are watching all of this shit, it is the middle of the night. There are still people partying out here. Everything might be closed. The 7-Elevens are still open and people are still partying. They're finding a way to do whatever they need to do. Whatever, you know what I mean? It's a city, Ocean City, and so you're walking around I would get adjusted and used to everything in the building. Like I'm in there by myself. Everything sounds different. It feels different, than everything when people are there and there's a hustle and a bustle. So all these different hums of different machines and conditioners and the refrigerators and the walk-ins and just all the different odds and ends, different sounds that the all the different machinery makes. That's just in idle, or sitting quiet, or just plugged in. Bain Marie's, ice machines and shit like that. So as you're walking around, there's different, different fucking sound effects, like all throughout the building, and it's like a horror movie. It's all dark, and you're just hearing these noises, and you're just like, you just get used to it. You're just like, yep, and I know the food's over here, and I was always like used to it. It's super cool, watching YouTube videos, this and that, whatever. This one night, probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours almost or so into everybody being gone, like bartenders and everything, and all I could think was maybe I didn't look clearly enough in the women's bathroom in fine dining. That's all I could think was like maybe I just didn't go in and look in all the stalls or something like that. Maybe I just like walked in and looked in like that and just walked out. I don't think I actually really went in. You know what I mean? And made sure nobody was in there. But I'm walking through, and all of a sudden, I watch a lot of horror movies. You know what I mean? Oh, that's Freddy Krueger scratching his claws over there. That's that walk-in. That's this. That's that. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay. But I'm like walking through the kitchen in the dark, getting ready to go chill and do whatever I'm going to do next. Maybe smoke a cigarette or something, and I just hear. Like what is like little kid like creepy scary voices like in a horror movie or something, you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck is that? So sure enough, that's what I did. I'm like walking, I hear the noise, and I'm like, what was that? Who's in there? Show yourself. What's like? I was like, I don't have any weapons, I'm just like, what do I do? You know what I mean? I was like, who's there? What the fuck? And see this like older lady, she's probably like my age now, but like at the time I was like mid-20s maybe, I don't know, later 20s, early 30s. It was early 30s. Yeah, it was late 20s. I was like, yeah, 26, 27. It was 27 going into 20. Yeah, it was like 26, 27, 28. Because I was like there, and then I was at BJ's, and then yeah. Um, so what was I saying? Yeah. So like I hear and I see this lady, and she's like, I'm so sorry. I don't know how I got here. I don't know where I'm at. I just remember my husband. She's like, my husband's gonna kill me. I just remember I was talking to this guy, and he bought me a drink, and then I woke up in the bathroom. I don't remember anything. Oh my gosh. I was like, oh, okay, let's just help you out and get you out of here. You know what I mean? Let's just like let's be as safe and smart about this as possible. And so I my manager was mad because I didn't just call him straight specifically, but I called OCPD and him. So he's like, no, don't call me because then they get all blah 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 blah. I'm like, and our insurance and I was just trying to make sure this lady was safe. Got out of here all right. And then there's only one other time where there was, and that was pretty freaky. But helped her out. And then I told you about the naked guy in the parking lot story in another video. Um, But then there was only one other time I remember going. I was working, and there was somebody there that shouldn't have been there. And it's like I have this rule myself. I do not wake people up by myself. And this guy was sleeping in one of the lobbies in one of the nice hotels. And same thing. I just call OCPD. Hey, there's a gentleman here. I'm not waking him up. I don't know if he belongs here in this hotel, or I don't know if he's somewhere else. And sure enough, he didn't belong there. He had to go somewhere else. So, and that's the whole situation. I couldn't take care of it. He's intoxicated and he's in a public place. I'm like, what authority do I have? The cops have to be there and whatnot. So, I would hope. I don't know. He wasn't too pissed off about that, but he ended up not being too happy with me anyways when I got fired. I met like really cool, like what I thought was the love of my life working there. She was a bass player. Traveled up and down the East Coast a little bit with her, do her different shows and stuff. When she visit my house, I visit her house. She was really cool. I screwed it all up, drinking and being stupid and saying very bad things that just like I wish I never said. But it's like you just say the things when you're drunk and you're just like not even thinking and just stupid and it's just dumb. But and you just become more and more annoying. And she totally just had the right just to be like just fuck off. But it was really fun, really cool for a while. Like we never argued. I thought it was really, it was something special. But now we probably would never get along. We're probably completely two different people, anyways. But like I said, I drank there all the time, and I would always want my 40 hours. So I worked there, did maintenance, all through winter, this and that, and then the weekends I bounced whatever. I'd fill it whatever time I could get. I did food running for like the holidays and this and that, whatever. And then this one event came up where it was like I had to come in a little earlier, and I don't even think I was doing the overnight that night. Like they were just like, or maybe I was, but I had to come in earlier regardless because it was like some sort of event or something that they needed more people or whatever. Or it might have been like, oh, we're not, because there is a time where I'm not staying overnight. So it might have been like before I started doing the overnight, but they needed me for this event, and so I could work the whole regular doorman shift. Instead of part of the doorman shift and then the overnight. So that's what I did. I was up there and it was between sets. I'm always on the stage because like I understand these people are working on the stage. Stay the fuck off the stage. Let these people work. So in between the sets, I went to go to the bathroom, take a dump, and the manager came up. I'm trying to make this quick because I know I'm almost at the 20-minute mark. And I'm sitting there doing my business, and he comes in and he does his business, and he's like, "Oh, is that? Well, yeah, I'm in here." He's like, "Oh, you're cool." Well, I was like, "I just figured I'd try to do it while they're in between sets, so it's the best time for me to do it." He's like, "No, you're good, you're cool." I was like, "All right, cool." And then he left, and I didn't think nothing of it. I left and washed my hands, and I was just gonna go back down to my position, and I saw him come walking out of the fine dining bar, and there's no reason for him to be up there except for I know he likes rum and cokes, and that's why I thought rum and cokes earlier because I know he likes rum and cokes, and that's what he does. He'll make one real quick, chug it, and so I was like, all right, I know how he's playing, so I was like, I'm gonna get mine in too. If he's gonna have fun, I'm gonna have fun while I'm working too, do my thing. So he went the one way, I went the other way. Like he went to like the office, and the office was down the hallway this way. And I went back downstairs, like, all right, see you later. And then walked down the stairs, and da da da. Once he was out of his view, back in the office there, da da da. I went back up into the fine dining. I made myself a Jack and Coke real quick, and I went back downstairs. And I started walking back through the kitchen, out through the doorway. But he came down the office the other side, and you know what I mean, down the other side of the kitchen, so he could see me walking past as he was coming down the steps this way and walking through. So he saw me walk by, and I have this cup in my hand. I'm like, I got two choices. I either chug it, you know what I mean, and pretend like it's a drink, like it's just a regular drink, or I throw it in the trash like it's a drink that I found. You know what I mean? Because you find an unattended drink, you're supposed to throw it away. So I was just like, yeah, just chug it. You know what I mean? I just chug it really fast, and then I went and act like it's just a normal regular soda, da 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 da. And I went and I put it over by the my speaker, and then he's like, "Oh, could you and Tubby go outside and check the drinks out and clean everything up out there a little bit?" You know, I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I knew I was fucked then. Came back, the drinks missing, obviously, and he went and told the other manager that I would usually report to overnight and stuff like that. And he's like, "Tell me the truth." I'm like, "Well, I'll tell you the truth." And I told him the truth, and he's like, "Oh man, tell me." I was like, "You told me to tell you the truth." You know what I mean? I was like, "But dude, like." It was just one time thing. I just figured I had it in my head. You know, I tried to lie my way through it, and didn't work, obviously. But yeah, more life lessons. Just don't drink. Don't think everything's a party and have fun, no matter how easy and accessible. It's like, oh, you can get away with this, no problem. Nobody ever know. Da, 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 da. That's when it ended up falling back on you the worst. You know what I mean? Once you think you can get away with it for so long, and it's free and easy, and then you realize, oh, everything's got a price in the end, one way or the other. I'm sorry I suck so much at looking at this little camera. It's not really a fun, easy camera to look into, and it's easier to look at the monitor and look at myself. But sorry about that again. God bless you. Thank you for your time and your patience with me. Till next time. Bye-bye.